Another way that God's people use up a lot of his resources, instead of using them for the purpose that God gave it to them, so they can be bountiful and give to the mission field, is that they have all these impulse buys. And so the Bible tells us of wicked people that their God is their belly, their glory is in their shame, and they mind earthly things. And so this is actually one of the great lies of the devil, that every time we see something and we desire it, we should have it. Just kind of like Solomon said, whatsoever thing my eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy. That's what a lot of people do in the Western world. They have these things we call impulse buys. In other words, they are always looking on online markets, online shops, and they see all these different advertisements, whether it's in media or in television or other different places where they see them. And as soon as they see the advertisement, or as soon as they see something they like, they buy it. They feel like they want something and they immediately go and buy it. We call these impulse buys. And actually the majority of impulse buys, whether for some kind of decoration, some knick-knack, some trinket, or some little new object that you absolutely need, you don't actually need them. And for the most part, most of it's going to end up in the trash in just a few months, if not a year or two. And so most of it is actually junk for the most part anyway. But people have all these different impulse buys. Here's the problem with that. You should, instead of having impulse buys and spending $5, $10, $15, $20 a day on Amazon, on the online marketplaces of different kinds, why don't you instead have impulse giving? How about when you feel like you want people to be saved, when you have the love of Christ constrain you, even just for a moment, why don't you open up your phone and send a donation to the mission field? Why don't you open up your computer and instead of buying something to satisfy your lust, O Solomon, why don't you just instead send that money for the purpose of people getting saved? Have not impulse buys, but impulse giving. You should start getting less luxury in your life and start getting more legacy by canceling most, if not all, of those impulse buys and starting to subscribe to impulse giving. Get it right now. The mission field, the ministry, the work that's going on where people are actually leading people to Jesus Christ out in these dark corners of the world, like here in Africa, and get your phone ready. And as soon as you feel that urge, do an impulse giving. Impulse give $5, $10, $15, $20. Stop impulse buying these little trinkets and these things you're not going to use that are just going to be a witness against you in the last days, and start doing some impulse giving. Stop spending and start sending.